Hello and welcome to our next SAM.gov Bids Live episode, where we walk through small business solicitations together on SAM.gov and answer your questions along the way so that you too can start bidding and winning contracts for your small government contracting business. Welcome, guys. Today, we're going to be jumping into a number of small business solicitations that we will be pulling up actually together on SAM.gov because I didn't really have any time prior to this episode to do that ahead of time. So we get to do that together as well today to kick things off. And we will be jumping into that in just a second. But if you are new here and you don't want to miss future Sam Bids Live episodes, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you can ask your questions live about government contracting on future streams. Now, today I will also be sharing something that I'm very, very excited about. It's something I've actually wanted to do for years, and I guess I can just show you a glimpse of what it is. We'll dive more into it in just a little bit. But I am officially unveiling the 90-day bid challenge today. And like I said, we'll dive more into it, but you can imagine what the 90-day bid challenge entails. So I'm very excited, and we're actually going to be enrolling for this next week. And then we will be kicking off September 1st, the following week. So we will dive more into the 90-day bid challenge for those of you who are wanting to kind of take the bull by the horns here coming into September for the next 90 days. But if you are just tuning in, joining us, hello, welcome. Thanks for hanging out with me today, this morning. Maybe you were on the last live episode that we did last week, getting things kind of back to flowing, getting the momentum going back into, some form of structure and regularity here on the channel. Let me know down below, guys, what state or maybe even what country are you representing as you are tuning in today? And while you go ahead and do that, I'm going to go ahead and bounce over to SAM.gov. And we will start pulling up some opportunities to look at today. So I already have some searches ran, and I'll go ahead and zoom in a bit for you. So I'm just going to scroll. I'm not going to call each of these out. I'm going to kind of do my thing. If you guys do see one on my screen as I'm scrolling and you would like me to stop, I can give you a bit of a preference here. No guarantees, but we'll see. And I actually premiered a video this morning that this Bent Creek snow removal was in that. So definitely check out that video too. I won't repeat it again here on the channel. But good morning, everybody hanging out with us. What state are you representing? What country are you representing? Where are you at in the world? Right now, we're pulling up bids that we're going to be diving into. Probably be on for an hour and a half today-ish. So definitely going to be hanging out for a little while. And some of these we may end up kind of nexting as we start to dive into them. I'm just pulling them off just by their title. There we go. We got the locations coming in now. Awesome, guys. Okay, I think we have a decent bit to play with here. Let's see, what do we got? We've got, good morning, Roberta. Hey, good morning. Is this Roberta? And if you're the right Roberta, you probably know it's you. T. Nicole, would challenge be virtual? What days and times? Yeah, I can certainly share more details on that, Nicole. A little bit more to the episode. We'll dive into that. Natalie Riggins out of California. Let's go. Cashing out with Nisi. Good to see you. Good morning, Tampa, Florida. T. Nicole out of Georgia. Glenn Art out of LA. Business as usual, Pennsylvania. We got Roberta out of Phoenix. Awesome. Good morning, guys. So we do have a janitorial services out of Dayton VA Medical Center. It's actually due today, so this will be more of an example than anything if we do decide to dive into this one. We got a bunch of messy, ugly copy and paste going on in here in the description, so we'll kind of just bounce down to our attachments. We do have Josh Kovar in contracting. Then it looks like we might just have a solicitation with maybe 5 different amendments. So not sure what's going on with that. Could be a bit of a red flag, to be honest with you. There we go. And typical VA contract using the navy blue. So we just have one pricing table, just quantity 6 months. So either they're just wanting to like test you out for 6 months. We can see it's just from September through February, or maybe they really just need, for 6 months. Of course, it's going to be SWOSB set aside as well, but kind of unique if they only need 6 months. 338,000 square feet over 13 buildings. 6-month base period. At least they acknowledge it's a base period, potentially option periods. Facilities to be cleaned are included in the following table, and they're breaking down a number of different rooms and the appropriate square footage that adds up to 300,000. Okay, so very standard, very straightforward of a janitorial services contract. Maybe you're someone who has entertained or maybe even pursued going after janitorial. Every industry, especially as it relates to performing that industry in government contracting, is going to be niche, is going to have its own minutia, its own details, its own discriminators, lots of things. These industries are all different. They're listing a Section 3 government furnished property, equipment, and services. So the government shall. So there's a difference between government furnished and contractor furnished, right? There are contracts, guys, where contractor furnished, you have to look out for this, where you have to provide things maybe that you wouldn't expect that you would expect the government to provide. For example, sometimes in janitorial contracts like this example, they could make you provide all of the, the soap, the toilet paper, all the cleaning equipment, and then you just store it on site at the government, in their closet, their storage closet, whatever. In other instances, the government would provide that. So it's important to read, to find, keep in mind. And it's just, maybe that's not something you would find, for example, on a staffing contract. So again, depending on what industry, what vertical you're in, you're going to learn the nuances of it. And it's just going to make you a better proposal writer. It's going to make you not miss things in your pricing. It's going to make you ask better questions. That's why I don't recommend, even if you are doing services, well, if you're doing all services, you're not going to have enough focus and attention to really drill down to learn it. That's why I recommend kind of sticking to a few, doing an umbrella, as I talk about a lot. Yes, it is Roberta Guerrero. Good to see you, Roberta. Hope you're doing well. Definitely good to see you hanging out this morning. Good morning, guys. Good morning, gals. Good morning, everybody. Yep, keep the states coming in. What are you representing? Jojo out of Wisconsin. Does anyone know what function keys you use to save a solicitation you want to go back and look at later? Yeah, there's not really like a function key to save it. You got to kind of manually, save the link. You can watch an opportunity though, or you can follow an opportunity. So that's probably the best thing for you. If you click this button, you can download or you can follow, right? But you have to be logged in. So I'm logged in right now. So just the 3 little dots, follow. That way, at least you'll get updates and you won't miss things. At least that's what they tell you. Personnel requirements for this contract, contractor qualifications, contracts manager. So they want a designated manager for this. Building security, safety, handling and cleaning of VA furniture and equipment. Okay, don't mess stuff up. You will be providing a quality control plan. Unless asked for the proposal, you will be providing that as a submittal if you are awarded the contract. So this is pretty important. They're breaking down the tasks, the duties, the frequency schedule for the tasks. So daily cleaning, for example, exam rooms, reception area, lobbies, restrooms. They want you to use hospital-grade germicide on the sinks and toilets, refill dispensers, right? Break room floors. Weekly or as needed, you're going to buff the floors. So in the winter, it's going to be worse probably than the summer. Okay, medical waste receptacles. This is weekly or as needed. Air vents shall be dusted, right? Monthly, they're talking windows, window blinds, light fixtures. And then every 6 months or so, hard surface floor care, essentially stripping and waxing, and carpet shampooing. And they give you a nice little table to reflect that as well. Pretty straightforward standard requests for a janitorial services contract. Let me know in the comments, guys. You guys are hanging out with us this morning. How many of you are actually actively bidding? Or actually, let's be more specific. How many of you have responded to a contract in July or August? So during the summer, during the busy season. We're not into September yet. So July or August. And how many have you responded to? If you have, that would be very, very interesting for everybody. So it's strongly suggested and expected that you inspect the campuses to be serviced to fully understand the nature of the work and the conditions. So there was a site visit held back at the Dayton VA Medical Center August 14th for an hour. But it's not mandatory. It said strongly suggested. Hey, good morning. Karen Sinatus out of New York. Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. And now quote preparation instructions. Failure to provide any of the information requested may result in your quote being excluded from further consideration. Okay. So all quoters shall submit the following. And then they're saying administrative items, admin items. Okay. Vendor must supply a statement which concurs the solicitation terms and conditions. Okay. Must acknowledge and concur with all amendments individually, right? We also have the notice of limitations and subcontracting. VA is really, hard about that because pretty much everything, not pretty much everything, a lot of what they're pushing out, right, is going to vets first. List of all vendor point of contact, and then general liability insurance. Okay, that's kind of admin items. They're saying they want you to call out in your proposal. Pricing items, they want you to provide the pricing and the price cost schedule. Remember that table that we saw? Let me see. Oh, well, I just lost my page anyway, so it doesn't matter. On page 2, this price cost schedule. Just tell us what's it going to be for 1 month, and then what's it going to be for 6 months. Are you guys telling me that nobody's bid in July or August? I don't see anybody. Yeah, I mean, this is your time to shine. Have you bid on anything in July or August this year? Let's see here. Just checking the chat here. Roberto says, let's see this. Good morning, my friend Derek. I'm now 14 bids total in. Nice. 15 are still pending award responses. I've learned tons. I think you call this the in the money window of 10 to 20. Yes. Yes, Roberta, that is exactly it. You are in the hunt. And I can only imagine how your responses have grown since even when we spoke earlier this year and where you are now, especially being in the busy season. I'm sure that you have grown, developed, evolved so much, and it's not luck that brings the awards. It's truly like just keeping your head down, doing the hard work, getting the nose, improving, that then puts you in a position of winning a contract, especially if you're doing it in a focused and targeted way where you're going after the same agencies, maybe even the same contracting offices, so that they're getting to see that you're showing up again and again and again, because there is truly, I'll zoom in for this one. Guys, there's truly a difference between kind of random untargeted bidding. Okay, even if you're doing services, even if you're doing the umbrella strategy, there is still a lot more opportunity to be gained, especially if you're trying to win your first contract, right? And you're doing 10 to 20, you're in the money. There's a huge difference between this agency, this agency, this agency, this contracting office, this contracting office, this contracting office, versus, right, like I say, do your research first before you even begin this process. Find out, discover who is buying the most of the goods and services that you're wanting to sell to the government, right? So that there's going to be maximum opportunity there. If it's just, even if you win a one and done contract with an agency where maybe they only spend $1 million a year, what after that, right? So it's a good short-term kind of success. But if you're in the early stages, if you're trying to position yourself to win and to grow in the long run, guys, when you win your first contract, things are just getting started. It's not the end when you win, it's the beginning when you win. And it's a lot of work and it's a lot of mental, dissonance between now and winning. And it feels so far away, but I promise you, it's not if you stick to it and you check your inbox one day and you have an award sitting there. Okay, that's usually how it happens. We usually win the contracts we don't even expect to win. And once we expect to win, something happens. I mean, these things are the generalities. But with that being said, if you are then finding USA Spending, right, you're drilling down, okay, these are the agencies. And then furthermore, I'm seeing a lot of opportunities out of these particular offices with these agencies, or these offices are pushing out a lot of, whatever is in my umbrella. If you decide to then set up shop there, you just do that extra step. You go that extra step further for those that are buying a lot. If you show up consistently to those who are buying a lot, that's the gap. That's the difference. Even if you're doing services, even if you're doing the numbers game. But if you're randomly, I'm just driving this point home for some of you who don't take this last extra step, for anybody who doesn't know, like just imagine, just for a second, imagine. Say you're a business owner, or say you're applying for a job. Say you're trying to date a woman or date a man. Like we all have heard like persistent pays, right? Like, I'm not making that up. I'm not pulling that out of the clouds. Persistence pays. And it's not the annoying type of persistence. It's like, hey, can I get a job? Hey, can I get a job? Take my resume. Or, just bugging the crap out of someone, a guy or a gal that you're trying to date. Or, say you run a business, right? As many of you do. And someone's coming to you asking you for a job, but they're just like being annoying. Like, okay, that's persistent and it's consistent, but it's kind of annoying, right? But it's a step up from them not even knowing who you are, right? So they know who you are, right? So for example, if you were just constantly calling a contracting officer, constantly responding to source of sought notices, constantly sending your capability statements to the same contracting officers. You're like, Derek, I'm marketing. And it's like, well, yeah, but that's kind of annoying. Because you're not helping them with what they need help with. They need people to bid on their contracts. They need businesses to submit proposals and pricing packages. Then you're speaking their language. So if you imagine your window is always dirty, and someone comes in and they're like, hey, let me clean your windows. Like eventually they're going to be like, okay, yeah, like I do need somebody to clean my windows. Or your rugs are constantly dirty, and you used to use Cintas and they're too expensive, so you got rid of them. So hey, I'm a small mom and pop shop, and I do all the rug cleaning and stuff like that. Let me clean your rugs. Like, they may not need you in the summer, but come winter, when all that snow and slush is getting in, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm actually glad that you showed up. Yeah, I remember you. I know that this is what you do. I have a little bit of trust developed with you. Like, okay, yeah, like give me a quote. Like, what is this going to cost? What will it cost for you to come do this, once a week or whatever? See the difference between spammy and actually showing up to solve a problem. And maybe those are not the best examples. I don't know. But when it comes to bidding contracts, we can just bid contracts and click send and then just sit on our hands and wait. Or you can take the extra step and go after additional requirements from that same office, because especially when you get to requesting debriefs, and I know you don't always get them, but even requesting feedback, getting on the phone, emailing, contracting, these things start to stack up. And I don't believe in direct marketing and government contracting. I don't believe in the, here's my CAPE statement, here's my source of sought, pick up the phone and like, hey, can you give me a contract? I don't believe in that. I've done it too much myself and not had any fruition. But what I've seen, and I've personally done, and I try to teach you guys, and this is a huge soapbox. So let me know, like, if this is like wanted. I mean, is this landing for you? Because this is a huge, massive soapbox I'm going on here. Didn't even expect it. Kudos to Roberta for inspiring this. But showing up at the same offices with the same contracting officers, wanting to earn their business. Okay. And if they're not responsive, then they ain't the ones, right? So, and I've mentioned this before, maybe you don't even go after opportunities. This could be part of your bid, no bid. You could pick up the phone and say, sir, ma'am, I intend to provide a response or review the statement of work. We're very excited. This is something we can offer. This is something that we can do. Please watch for our response. You send that email, you make that phone call. If you don't even get a response back, maybe you don't even put in the effort to put the proposal together in the first place. Maybe that's like your final vetting criteria to make sure that we can do all of this moving forward that I've been ranting on for the last 10 minutes or so, right? Maybe we make sure that we're setting the stage, we're building on a strong foundation with contracting folks who are going to be reciprocal, communicative. You know what I mean? It's hard to work with something that's not a two-way street. If it's always going to be a one-way street, screw that, right? It has to be a two-way street, even when it comes to getting your RFIs answered and all those sorts of things. So, but just again, lastly, before I move on, imagine someone who's constantly showing up in a way that suits you to earn your business. Eventually they're going to earn your business. And it's no different from you to a contracting officer. It's not spamming them. It's not source of sought, CAPE statements. Give me a contract on the phone and emails. Do an email blast to contracting officers. I hate that. It feels like productive for a minute when you do it, but then when you don't hear back from any of them, it's like, okay, well, what was the point? Instead of trying to build real front-end relationships, not through direct marketing, but through indirect marketing. And we do indirect marketing through targeted bidding. So hopefully you get the point. Jojo V, I'm constantly working on bids and I'm working on it right now. Awesome. Love that. Business as usual, I'll be bidding in less than 2 months. Okay, probably you got that cage code going, put together a website, creating relationships at the moment. Love it. So I do research at night, set up the emails, and then send those, and then in the morning follow up for the day. Makes perfect sense. Yeah, we all have to find our rhythm, especially if you're working full-time jobs. Some of you are teachers. Some of you, are working in IT, all over the place here. Natalie, my goal is to start before the end of the month. That's a great goal. And hello, Christopher. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys, today. If you're watching, but you're not subscribed to the channel, please take a moment to click subscribe, click notifications, like the video. We definitely need all the support so we can get. I don't want to spend any more time on this opportunity, so we will kind of button that one up and we will keep things going. And as I said, in just a little bit, the 90-day bid challenge, I will be sharing more details on that. So for those of you who might be interested in that 90-day bid challenge, let's see, there we go. We will be sharing more details on that. Enrollment is going to be starting next week, and then we'll be kicking off the following week, September 1st, where I will help you respond to 10 bids over the next 90 days. And you can imagine the what that can do for your business. To be able to click send on 10. So our next opportunity that I've randomly pulled, personnel readiness, infrastructure support, management services, Prism. We may end up passing on this one. Small business on-ramp. This one might be, yeah. I'm not trying to show you guys contracts that are too far into the weeds. Since most of you are beginners, it's just, we don't need to get started on level hard. So we'll keep things easy to moderate. Next, security system update, San Diego, due August 25th. Small business set aside, 561621. Security systems services. The solicitation is a request for quote. 100% small business set aside. Services shall be quoted all or none per the pricing cleanse. A site visit of where the work will be performed is highly recommended. So they're kind of doing, this isn't as messy, so we will read this description just a little bit longer. The valuation, so the government will award a contract resulting from this solicitation to the responsible offer whose conforming to this solicitation will be most advantageous to the government. Price and other factors considered. The following factors will be used to evaluate: technical, acceptability, technical approach, and past performance. The government will award a contract resulting from this to the lowest price technically acceptable offer. So they're asking for technical, it might just be technical approach and past performance. They're saying technical acceptability here. It's going to be probably technical approach, past performance, and then pricing, of course. So for your technical quote, you must demonstrate the technical approach by providing a narrative addressing all the items in the scope. At a minimum, include your plan of action, equipment, key team members, and schedule. So this is what you're writing and putting in your proposal. Past performance, at least 3 references. And then reps and certs. So for attachments here, we have wage determination clauses, pricing cleanse, looks like 4 rounds back and forth of Q&A. So if there's 4 rounds of Q&A, guys, this tells you that there are competitors that are actively engaged in this. Just something to know. It's not necessarily a bad thing. We have some specs here as well. So I'm going to, that's the PWS. Yeah, I'm not sure which of these is the solicitation. If you guys, if you don't know from previous episodes, I don't look at these ahead of time. So this is a non-disclosure agreement. Okay. So between you and the agency, there's an NDA, just like between you and, for example, a teaming partner, you put an NDA in place. Physical security specs. So essentially list brand, model, location, function. Where is the actual solicitation for this? So we know they're just saying physical security system upgrade, quantity 1 each for the statement of work, 3 times, 3 months from time of award is the POP, 3 months from time of award. I don't think this one's great either. The work might be okay, but it's just like contracting has not done a very sufficient job of teeing this up. Unless, yeah, they haven't really hidden things anywhere. So this is why I pull these randomly, because we don't know what we're going to run into. and it exposes you. This is really a game of volume, because no bid is the same. No bid is like any other, right? There's no just perfect proposal template. Oh, just give me the winning proposal template, and then I can go and bid and win all the contracts. It doesn't work that way. Every contract is different. The winning template for one contract will be the losing template for 10 others. Okay, you have to learn to read. You have to learn to extract. And very often contracting doesn't even know how to read because what they're putting together is trash some of the time. Okay. So I think we'll keep things rolling. And if you just joined us, we are making our way through some live opportunities on SAM.gov. Maybe you're from the email list. Maybe you're from YouTube. Maybe you're in both. Maybe you're hanging out with us last week. Glad to have you back here this week again, if that's the case. We have snow and ice removal services out of Acropolis, Pennsylvania, due August 25th for the Army. Small business set aside, 561-790 NAICS code. By the way, guys, how have you noticed SAM has changed? Like it's been a minute already. What do you guys think of the new layout? I mean, personally, I don't know what was wrong with the previous layout. I don't find this any more helpful. I mean, I feel like it was fixing something that wasn't broken, in my opinion. But what's your opinion? Like, what do you think? Have you even noticed that it's changed? I wanted to do a video on it, but it's like, what do I say in the video? Okay, this is here. Instead of being on the left, it's on the right. Instead of it being a square, it's a rectangle. I mean, I wanted to do a video, but it just didn't seem like there was enough there. So Katie Lyons in contracting, just pointing us to Pi on this one. And then we have Q&A and a solicitation doc. This is actually an amendment. Okay, that's solicitation doc. My bad. Okay, so the Q&A, wage determination, probably, PWS, and that's the solicitation. For snow removal, Acropolis, Pennsylvania. Anybody ever been to Acropolis? I have not. I've been to Hershey. So this is 100% small business set aside, of course. The purpose of this is to procure snow and ice removal, okay, in support of the 99th Readiness Division. And this is for the USARC, the U.S. Army Reserve Center. So 12-month base plus 4 12-month options. So we know this is a base plus 4. This will be a 5-year contract. They probably won't be bidding this out for at least 5 years. So a lot of contracts, guys, they're out there. They're in performance stage still. Site visit primary was August 8th. Alternate is the 12th. Looks like those have passed. Completing a proposal for submittal. Proposals are due no later. Okay. So you'll submit through Pi. This is 108 pages, by the way. I'm going to work backwards on this one. A lot of clauses. Okay. These clauses are out of this world. Yeah, maybe we'll take a minute to look up Acropolis or something. Maybe if we have an address. So we do have our, my goodness. Okay, we have our inspection and acceptance for the locations. So we do have an address. So we'll keep that in mind. But aside from that, we actually have our pricing tables, which is apparently we're heavily reliant on. So many CLINs, how many? So we've got 8 CLINs per period. And they're saying 30 each, 15 each, 10 each, 3 each, 45 each. What is the each, right? 45 each, 10 each, 1 each. I would say definitely unusual convention for, where are we at? For the snow and ice removal. Typically they would break it down based on like number of inches. If it's above 5 inches, if it's below 5 inches, that sort of thing, right? This each stuff is like, it's wild. And it's like they're, so I get that they're putting the POP, but they're just being super lazy. It's not straightforward to quote the way that it is. Great, they already kicked me out after like 2 minutes of being in Pi. Guess we will, actually, I want to see what the Q&A is for this. So there is a current contract number. So there's an incumbent, Kunkel S Electrical Services, for $844,000. Kunkel S Electrical Services is providing snow removal. See what I mean, guys? Like, do you see what I mean? So many of you get caught up. Oh, I need to, my business name. It doesn't exactly perfectly match the work that I'm going after. I have to go through, I got to go set up a new business. I've got to get registered in SAM all over again, new entity, because I've got a different name because I've decided to go after a different type of services. You see this? This is electrical services being awarded almost $1 million to provide freaking snow plowing. In the commercial world, it's okay to be a specialist. In the federal government world, it doesn't pay to be a specialist. You miss out on a lot of opportunities. In the commercial world, the customer cares about the service, like more than anything else. In the government world, they care about the service, of course. I'm not saying that they don't. But more than that, they care about the mission. So are you supporting an agency's mission, right? Meaning you're an electrical company providing snow plowing. People don't get this. They don't get it. And you have so many people over there, so many lined up, people that, they're pillars in the federal government contracting industry. Huge LinkedIn accounts, loud voices. And they say that you need to have all your ducks in the row. You need to be very hyper-focused. They have no clue how it actually works in the federal space. I get hated on because I actually speak the truth. Because I've done it. I went from a very small company that became a small company. Because we won a lot of contracts, and we didn't do it by being a specialist, niching down. That works in the commercial world. People that are in the federal space that tell you to do this, they're doing it because that's like intuitively like, oh, that's what we should do, right? Because that's what we do in the commercial space. But they've never done it, so they can't speak things like this. They can't say things like this because they actually don't know, because it's something you only know. Like, say you get a message from God, right? You try to explain it to somebody. They're like, oh, well, that's just, it could have just been a coincidence. Something happens, so, God moves something in your life. It's just a coincidence. You know what it was, and you don't need anybody else to validate that for you. You know that only in that moment, only at that timeline, all these things, right? And you felt it. You got the goosebumps. Like it. Anybody else would stand on the sideline and they could just throw darts at you the whole day. But you know what the truth is. It's that same way for this. So many people speculate on federal government contracting. The lawyers, the contracting officers, that have a voice, and many other people, but they've never actually won contracts. They haven't done it, or maybe they've won one or two. I've won 32. Okay. And that was like before I started working with small businesses. So you need to have a lot of volume. You got to have a lot of data. You got to have a number of plot points to actually see this model, to see this underlying truth that goes through the space. And if you just don't have the experience, I'm sorry, you're just not going to see it. But that also means I'm not going to hold back telling you guys the truth. And I didn't plan to share this. I'm only sharing this because the clues are all around you. The spray paint writing is on the wall. Kunkel S Electrical Services winning a $844,000 snowplow contract. Does contracting care that they're an electrical company? Apparently not. Why? Because they know federal government contracting. They know how to treat a customer well. They know how to provide a service. They know how to do their submittals because they've done it on electrical services. So contracting has faith and confidence in them, which is why you as a new government contractor actually have an opportunity, because, we're all kind of trying to shake off, it's like you're playing checkers when you should be playing chess. If you learn to play chess in a chess match, you'll quickly catch on. Many of you stay slow in the space, and if you listen to the wrong people, they're going to keep telling you to play checkers, and you're like, well, I don't know why this isn't working. I'm doing everything I should. But you're playing checkers in a chess match. Versus others, they just take off. Why? Because they know that the rules have changed. It's a different game. It's quite literally a very different game. Federal government contracting. And should it be or should it not be? That's not up to me to decide. I just know that it is. And I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to show you, I'm trying to demonstrate to you, because I generally am trying to help you. And this is stuff that people would charge you thousands and tens of thousands of dollars for you to actually get this. But you get it here for free. What are you going to do with it, right? But it's very real. And this is just one example of it. Roberta, I agree, Derek. I had to leave my construction management private industry specialty mindset behind and just go with the government is buying right now. Interesting, Roberta. That's actually very, very interesting. It's definitely a testament to the evolution of your mindset. I personally don't think you have to ditch it. I don't know what you're coming up against in construction, because there's a boatload of construction, of course. But I certainly do understand signing up for what the government is buying in terms of the opportunities that you're seeing. Again, it's like the kid keeps coming in and wanting to wash your windows. Eventually, if it's a pain point for yours, you're going to give him the job or her the job. We have to work backwards from what the government's buying, not what we want to offer. That's another part of the change in the rules. But it is and it isn't, In the commercial space, it's, I've given this example before. When you start a business, if you start so niche and narrow, even in the commercial space, if you start so niche and narrow, and you haven't worked with any clients yet, you might just die. I mean, your business might just fail. And I give the construction example all the time. If you're doing roofing, if you're doing fences, if you're doing sidewalks, right? You kind of start out as a jack of all trades, and then you start getting work for, we keep getting roofing jobs and we're not really getting too many pavement or fencing jobs. over a couple of years of that, now you're a roofer. So you grow into being a specialist, right? But you don't start out that way. We don't know what contracts are going to be the first contracts that we're going to win. That's why the umbrella that's the essence of the umbrella strategy. It's avoiding Goldilocks syndrome. Don't be too narrow, right? But don't be too wide. You want to find a healthy balance somewhere in the middle where you can still go deep enough to learn the industry that you are trying to break into. And yes, you do it for 6-9 months. If you're not having success in that industry, guess what? You pivot to another industry. We don't want to keep, insanity. We don't want to keep doing the same things, getting poor results. If we feel we're doing adequate effort, we're doing everything right, it's just not working. Sure, definitely add something. Take something out, add something in. It's just logic, You have something that starts working, you keep that, you start working on something else until you keep it. We keep throwing stuff until it sticks. A lot of people say throwing stuff against the wall until it sticks is like, it's unintelligent, it's uninformed, it's a non-researched way. Actually, it's called real life. Because you could spend 3 months researching and putting together a perfect plan, but what does Mike Tyson say? Well, you have a plan, then life hits you in the mouth. Then what's your plan? I say jump in, get into it, figure it out. What works for you? What doesn't work for you? All the planning stuff, you plan as you go. Life meets you at your feet. Really what it is living in a fantasy. And you're not going to win contracts living in this fantasy or living in a business model where things should be this way. It just doesn't work that way. Christopher Spinoza, I want to join your mentorship if you offer one. So yeah, I'm actually going to be kicking off, and I think maybe now is a good time we can plug it. Our 90-day bid challenge. Okay, so I do have a document that'll make it easier for me to read and show you. So it's something that I'm very, very excited about, guys. And I'm enrolling for next week to kick this off, next week only, because we're starting in September 1st. So the 90-day bid challenge, you can imagine what that is. It's a pretty on-the-nose title. So the challenge, respond to 10 federal bids over 90 days with my support. So the purpose of this is massive accountability, improve your existing processes, and you might even win a contract. You might. Especially if you're going after 10. It gets you close to that start of that winning range. And of course, you can win contracts by responding to 10. It does happen all the time. I just don't want to set unrealistic expectations. That's all. So what is the structure going to look like for the 90-day bid challenge? I know that we had a question or two about that earlier as well. So we are going to be creating a 90-day roadmap, and it'll be custom for everybody who is joining for this particular cohort. Every cohort moving forward will be different. So they'll have to be tweaked and tailored. So it's a custom roadmap that you will follow to keep you on track over your 90 days. I do have a brand new proposal writing training, proposal writing system that you will be using in step with going through this process. It's called GovRFP. Okay, it's not on my website yet. Can't even really access it. I'm going to kind of be unveiling it as a big part of the 90-day challenge. Okay, something I'm very excited about. It's very specific. It's very concise to putting your bids together. I have more information in that specific to proposals than I've ever done, even more than the flagship training, anything like that. It's very, very good. We're going to be doing weekly calls with me. So I'm going to be getting on weekly calls with you. And these are accountability and support calls. And we're going to be talking about, and we're going to be tracking what you're working on, what's in process, what have you submitted, calls with teaming partners, pricing, proposals, everything that you're needing to do this work. This is the work we're focused on. We're not focused on anything else. So I'm not helping you with your CAPE statement. I'm not helping you with your website. I'm not helping you get registered on SAM.gov. Requirement is you must have your CAGE code to participate, because we're going to be moving pretty fast here. I will be reviewing some of your bids at predetermined checkpoints on your roadmap. So I'm going to be probably more involved than I ever have in any other program. And you also have access to our funding partners if and when you win. So line of credits, factoring, okay, you're going to get first of the line so that you can get financing and funding. If you actually do win contracts, we'll be able to support you on the back end for that. So Again, requirement, just have to have a cage code, and you got to have the commitment to do this and the time to do this. It's over 90 days. So it'll be through September through the end of November. This is a cohort group. Okay. So I'm like, whoever we get, and it's limited to 10 seats. Okay. And 4 of those seats are literally already occupied. So I have 6 more seats to open for this next round. This challenge is cohort-based, meaning you have 1 window each month to join. It is my intention to open it up again the following month. We'll see how it goes. I am charging $1,000 per month for the program, so it is a $3,000 investment, and I'm not shy about sharing that. And I know not everybody will be able to afford something like that, but for the amount of time I'm putting into it, I don't have to justify it. If it's something that's a right fit for you, if it's the right time for you, if the investment works for you, you'll have basically Monday through Friday next week to enroll. I'll be sending out the emails. You can contact us as well, support@govkidmethod.com. Subject line 90-day challenge. Yep, I just mentioned what it costs. It costs $3,000 for the 3 months. And you can either join via the checkout link that I'll be providing, or you can schedule a call if you need to speak with somebody. You'll be able to speak with a member of my team, ask questions if you're not sure or you want to see if certain things are going to be involved. We'll be able to answer all those questions, next week. So will you rise to the challenge? This is your invitation, the 90-day bid challenge. And like I said, we do have 4 seats occupied, so there are 6 remaining. I don't want to have more than 10 people starting the first month with this. So definitely feel free to reach out. Would love to work with many of you on a much more close basis. If you want to bid on 10 contracts over the next 90 days and have me helping you each step of the way, it's going to be very hands-on. So very excited about that. And hopefully some of you, it's a good time for you to do something like that for your business. All right. So good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. So our next opportunity that we have. Yeah. And the cohort, I mean, that's what I'm designating my time for. So definitely, I don't have a lot of other things that I focus on when it comes to work stuff. So I'm very involved. So new kitchen hood extinguishing system inspection, testing, and maintenance due September 3rd. Another VA contract, small business set aside, 561-210 facility support services. So this is for the Roseburg VA. They're requiring inspection, service, testing, and maintenance of its kitchen ventilation hoods. I like contracts like this. I think I've said this recently about the testing, inspection, cleaning contracts. They're not something that you would just off the top of your head be like, oh yeah, I'm going to pursue this. These are contracts that are procured a lot. They have to be done all the time. And many, if not, all agencies need them if they're having, because it's a fire hazard, right? So if there's a kitchen, there's a potential fire hazard. So they need to be tested, inspected. You know what I mean? So they are giving us the pricing cleanse for this. Looks like it will be base plus 4, as we can see, based on the pricing cleanse. They're giving us 2 cleanse per period. So the first cleanse is going to be quantity 1 for the inspection, service, testing, and maintenance of the kitchen. Ventilation hood, they're saying the POP will start September 30th and go for a year for this base period. The second item for the base period is going to be 5-gallon pails of formula cleaning agent. They're saying 2, and they want you to price per each. So they're letting you price separately, it appears, for the cleaning formula. They don't want that it's like the product. This is the product part, and this is the service part. So they're breaking out the cost for the product and the cost for the service. Probably not because they care so much about the cost of the product, but it's probably because the service cost is going to be the most important aspect, and they're going to compare the cost of your service to others. And if they don't know if you're building in product into that price, it's going to make it hard to compare. So that's why I think they are breaking this out. Roberta says, Derek, your 1-1 is worth every dime. Hey, I appreciate that. Just saying under consideration. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, Roberta, for that shout out as well. And this is going to repeat. So base plus 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 5-year contract, breaking it down by each, and then a grand total. Pretty straightforward. We have our statement of work. And guys, if you're just joining, we are making our way through more SAM Bids Live opportunities. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Definitely subscribe. We need to get our subscriptions up. So subscribe if you haven't yet. It helps the channel a lot. So scope of work. I'm trying to decide if I should actually go through. Yeah, I think we'll just take the paragraph. So the Roseburg VA Health Center operates 6 kitchen hoods, 6 commercial kitchen exhaust hoods, 5 commercial kitchen exhaust hoods in the main kitchen in Building 71, 1 commercial kitchen exhaust hood in the VA canteen service kitchen. Scope of work for this service is to perform the semi-annual inspection, testing, and maintenance, and the annual inspection, testing, and maintenance. The vendor will also provide the Roseburg 2 to 5 gallon pails of the cleaning agent for the Gaylord wash down system hoods. So pretty much cuts to the chase, explains all those pricing claims that we just looked at. But they will go ahead and break down those tasks more specifically. Again, this is going to go through September 2030. Crazy. 2030 is already on the docket. Again, guys, if you are interested in I'll go ahead and put the banner up. Interested in the 90-day bid challenge, if you're interested in being part of it, email us support@govconmethod.com. And if you missed it, you can rewind the clip too. I'll just say, guys, VA contracts are one of my least favorite contracts to read. Probably next to DLA contracts. I kind of despise VA contracts. Primarily because, in my opinion, they're unclear. They're often unclear, and it's unnecessary. I'll say that. It's unnecessary. Just tell us what you want. So for evaluation, government will issue a purchase order to the responsible quoter. Following factors shall be used to evaluate relevant past performance and price. So past performance and price. So instruction offers, and it's just, I kind of scrolled through it the first time because it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. because it's just the copy and paste boilerplate stuff that contracting likes to use sometimes. Solicitation number, date specified. They are highlighting past performance here. So it's truly just going to be past performance and price, but they're not giving us a real true instruction to offers. And they, the evaluation factors, I suppose, are okay, but they left out as well, best value, lowest price. We don't know because they're not being clear about it. So it's largely just going to be this pricing table. We have SF 1449 form, and then past performance. And that's it. So I think we're done with that one. Okay, welcome guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What state are you all representing from? If you just joined, where are you hanging out with us from today? And also, what are you up to? Are you walking at the gym? Are you at work? Are you doing some work at home? Cleaning the house? What are you guys up to today? So this is Dierks Park cleanup due September 12th. So a bit more in the future for the Army Corps. Small business set aside 561-210 facility support. We've got Taylor McLean and Sarah Haggood in contracting. And we have one attachment only. The solicitation is 91 pages, but that's okay. Immediately hitting us with a wage determination from the back end. Quality control plan outline. What else we got? Sampling guides. Deficiency report. Customer complaint record. Okay, these would all be exhibits and forms. QASP, quality assurance surveillance plan. Looks like this is our statement of work. Okay. So we've got kind of a lot here for this one. Price schedule, breaking it down by location, quantity, and days. We can tell from this it's a base plus 1, 2. So base plus 2, 3-year contract. Saying the government will award a contract it's most advantageous, considering the following factors. Factor 1, understanding of the PWS. Factor 2, list of key personnel and equipment. Factor 3, past performance. Price. So then they're saying basis for award will be understanding of the performance of work statement in Factor 2. And then listing of key personnel, the offer will be rated using the chart below. Okay. Little different, but I don't mind it because it is clear. Past performance, the offer will be rated utilizing the charts provided below. It'll be substantial confidence all the way down to no confidence. And they are breaking it down to a table. That's nice for us here. Factors 1, 2, and 3. They're giving us relative importance. So equal in importance to factors 2 and 3, equal importance to factors 1 and 3, with an equal in importance to factors 1 and 2. Award will be based on a best value trade-off, which means price is not going to be the only important factor being considered. Dover, Delaware. On my way to the gym. Let's go, Chris. Roberto, I'm getting killed on subcontractor PPQs. Yeah, that's brutal. Definitely brutal. And it happens to the best of us. we need to get those PPQs in by the deadline. Sometimes they just won't even do it. So we got to make sure we have those tight relationships, even if it's just a couple companies. Reps and certs, pretty straightforward. So this is essentially informing us on our proposal and the evaluation. So this is really what we're looking at for putting together a proposal. We didn't have any other attachments. Statement of work. We'll just spend a minute here and then we'll see. Contractor shall furnish all necessary, okay, blah, blah, blah. Manage the total work effort, implement necessary work controls, schedule work, take care during the execution, okay, OSHA and environmental safety permits, acceptable quality levels, definitions. It's park cleanup. Okay. Grill, fire rings, debris services, water and electrical risers, general surface cleaning. So there's a lot. Graffiti removal. There's just a lot. Drinking fountains. Pretty much intuitive stuff. But we would want to know, like, how big is this, right? How many people is it going to take to clean the park? Apologies, I'm scrolling through fast. But for the pricing schedule, it's like they're just wanting us to quote the occurrence. So the events, the activities. How many times are we coming out? It appears. So that's 255. Okay. So that's like out of 365 days in a year, we're coming out 255 days at Blue Ridge. And they've determined that almost every day, or pretty much every other day and then some, is how often they need cleaning. And that's for 3 years. So nice ongoing service contract, I would say. Yeah, Roberta, no, wage determinations are still being incorporated to contracts. Workers on federal contracts are still protected. That's not canceled. At least it's still being, at this particular stage, it's still being incorporated and required in contracts. I mean, I heard people talking about how set-aside contracts are gone, that the president canceled set-asides. There's no more set-asides. You know, it's not true. But that's different than, I haven't heard the wage determination one, to be honest with you. Okay, guys, if you did miss it, we are kicking off enrollment for the 90-day bid challenge. Again, you can email us for details, support@govkidmethod.com. I'll help you respond to 10 bids over the next 90 days. Highly recommend that. For anybody who's in a position, you're able to invest, you have time to commit to this, you're serious about doing it. This isn't just a hobby type thing on the side, because we're going to be moving at a pretty tight pace. I only have 6 spots available literally for that group, for that cohort. So definitely keep that in mind. But if you're serious, definitely reach out, and I'll have the information starting Monday. We'll be enrolling people on Monday into the 90-day bid challenge. Very excited. Can't wait. We've got new financing partners lined up for you guys. We've got a lot of great stuff. to essentially meet you at where your needs are, to really get out of your own way. It's, again, massive accountability, improve your existing processes. You might even, win a contract. 10 contracts is a lot over 90 days. So you just don't know what might happen. And again, if you are watching this and you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss out on future Sam Bids Live episode where you can ask your questions on future streams. Like the video, continue to drop comments. Don't forget to reach out to us again if you're interested in the 90-day bid challenge, support at govkidmethod.com. Hope you got some value today. I'm going to make it a little bit shorter, so we will wrap it up here. And until the next time, guys, you got this. Have a great one. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.